Right, back again. So let us speak of human spirit in actions now. In chapter 3, we spoke of the beingnesses. What is a human being? How does the human beingness look like? Now we'll speak a bit more about human spirit in actions. What actions are in alignment with the human being? And how does that work? So, again, some myths and lies about human actions. So these are the myths and lies we have been told. Human action is primary and being is secondary. That means what you do is important, who you are is not important. That's the biggest lie we are told. In fact, just the opposite is true. Who you are is more important than what you do. What you do in this world, as long as you're alive, is a choice. It's a question of choosing what is in alignment with your being individually. There's nothing like the collective there. It's just individual. Individuals choose, individuals create in alignment with their own being. So remember, this is a lie that says that you must do this, you must do that. Your parents, your teachers, society, your educational systems, your government, they are all told you must do this, and this is the right thing to do. No, it is not. Your being is primary. Action is secondary. Always remember that. Now I come to the second. Human actions must be bound within the rules and structures of institutions. It's the same thing we just spoke of. Institutions meaning the legal, the government frameworks, the institutional frameworks of education, the institutions of corporations, private, public sectors, all which tell you that here are all the rules and structures, and you should abide by them. And your actions must be bound within those rules and structures. This way, you're never going to get anything done. Look at the civilization now. How's it working so far? For anyone, individually or for a country? Have you managed something? Like even getting rid of the basic poverty? Nothing. So be careful from whom you buy ideas and how you implement them in your life. Or what you believe to be truth. It has to be in alignment with your being. Last one, I just summarized this, can expand on this. These are the basic ones I came across. Human actions are what humans are born and here for. No, they're not. Just like I said, human being is born to be present. To be present with human action. But the being must be there primary. Actions come secondary. Alright, what do we have next? What's the truth of human actions? Human actions are meant to enhance the inherent being of the human. You see where I'm coming from? Just what we spoke in the previous slide. You as a being are primary. You have to see, check, and align with your internal self, not the external world. Only then it's going to lead to your happiness, joy, expansion in all directions. It's going to make you feel the joy of being alive. Human action is and always was free and based in free expression. This has always been the case. There have been many programs and many institutions and cultural programming, educational programming running around, which is all coming out now, by the way, in these times. How much of programming has been done and why the society is in such a bad shape as a result of that. Let it be in economy, governments, educational systems, you name it. Human being in action always strives for benevolence. It doesn't matter what the physical circumstances. Now we can go to the poorest of the poor, the one who's most deprived, and you will see even they will be prompted towards benevolent action first, as a first choice. There's compassion, there's love, there's understanding, there's balance, even in the poorest of poor in our world. You gotta make a big note of that, because that's what creates a proper human being. That's the being whose action is aligned with the internal self, not what the external stories are told. There are plenty of stories and myths and history and blah, blah, blah. Human actions are the change makers on this planet and rearrange and recreate beauty, symbiosis, and synthesis with Earth. So, other than humans, there are no other creatures on this planet which are making any sort of change. All the other creatures are going about in their collectives, in their routine, all of the life forms. The only ones who build, create things on this planet, build civilizations, buildings, structures, systems, etc., are the human actions. They're the change makers. You are the change maker. And you have always been the change maker. So, actions are energy based, they are kinetic. They make you move, do, take steps, go forward, push you, prod you, poke you. So actions are something that you get up from the bed each morning, go towards your work, your studies, your profession, your business, your government jobs, your banking jobs, be it whatever they might be. This is what actions are. They are kinetic in the sense they make you move. They don't allow you to sit at one place. You feel compelled inside you as a being to move and do something. About what? How do I do? Let's see. Remember this one from the first one? The sphere of the human being, the 4 actions, and the 6 essences of being. Right? And we spoke about actions seek to enhance human spirit. Human spirit always seeks to be engaged in every action. So it's a spherical system. Right? Now let's see. Let's just speak in this chapter about the actions, the 4 actions, and how they affect this. So, okay, so let's spend some more time in understanding the actions. So I'm defining this in terms of energy. All creation is about energy, like we saw at the last slide. And kinetic energy, not potential energy. This is kinetic. That means it moves you. These are the things described in this podcast as the ones which is going to drive you out of your seat, out of your comfort zone. And the very first one is called create energy. So what are the attributes? Well, the create energy goes from inside to the outside. It's very important to remember. Your creations, which you will create in this lifetime, has to go from inside you to outside you. It's not the other way around. Doesn't matter who says what. It's from inside to the outside. Okay? So remember this. And it goes in all directions. What do I mean by this? Goes in all directions. Meaning, if you have understanding, if you create an understanding for yourself, it's always for yourself. We are talking you with you here in all these slides. External world comes later. First is internal alignment, right? So if you create some understanding for yourself, right, it can lead to your balance. And that balance can lead to creation of beauty, or can lead to creation of love for yourself, or can lead to compassion, or can lead to more knowledge. If you are creating some substance of beauty, or something of beauty, like say art, music, all these right brain structures, which are non-linear. So if you create something of beauty, then it might create more compassion in the world. So creation of beauty will result in creation of compassion. Or it might even result in creation of love. Or it might create some more understanding for you in some other area of your life. So this creation is not, once again, linear. There's nothing linear in any of this. One can lead to the other. Creation of one can lead to creation of another, as you can see. And it can lead to creation of all of them even. Right? That's what I mean by saying in all directions. And all these energies which I'm going to describe are going to be in similar fashion, as in one leads to the other. Okay, so So it goes in all directions. As you can see, one can lead to the other. Nothing is linear, it's all spherical. You can create understanding, it can lead to beauty. Beauty can lead to compassion, can lead to balance, can lead to love, can lead to knowledge. So take it in all directions. That's where there are, in all these energies, there are dual arrows with each way, going each way. One can go any other way. So remember this when you're creating something, and you're only born for creating stuff here. Okay? When we talk about the four energies that move you, you will know this for yourself, how this relates to one another. Next one, ability to innovate, bring new. That's the creation energy. You're born for innovation. You're born to bring something new, which is in alignment with the being that you are. It's nothing to do with the outside world. It's to do with you. Ability to innovate and bring something new. Last one, related and works with expand energy closely. So creation and expansion are related, as you can see. Creation leads to expansion, expansion leads to further creation, and vice versa. So it keeps going back and forth. Right? So expand energy, because this is related to create energy. What does that have? Again, it follows the same rules as expand. It can go in either way. You expand your understanding, it leads to expansion of your beauty, inner beauty, and expansion of love itself for you. So it goes both ways, from inside to outside as well as outside to inside. So expansion can be inner expansion, or expansion can be external expansion. It doesn't mean expansion is always in one direction. It can go expansion of inside world and outside world of you. It goes in all directions, as we just said. Seeks energy deep within. Seeking energy deep within. So this expansion is coming from the core of your soul. So from there, it seeks to expand outward, and inner. So as your inner world expands, your outer world expands. So it goes both ways. And it's related and works with the create energy, as we just spoke of. Next, the engage energy. What is the engage energy? What do you mean by engagement? It's a softer energy of participation. Think about this. Ponder over this. It's an energy of participation. It's an energy of participating with the rest of the world. Engage with understanding with other people. Engage with knowledge. Engage with beauty. Engage with love. This is you with respect to the external world. When we say participation, it's with respect to the humans or the life forms, the elements of the planet, minerals, whatever you do in any field of study you do. It goes in all directions. Again, engagement of understanding can lead to engagement of balance. So one can create the other also. So seeks to connect with the circle of life. What is the energy of engagement? Engagement means you need to connect with the circle of life, which we'll again see in the last slide. So the circle of life that we spoke of is closely associated with engagement. You have to engage with others. You have to engage with the planet elementals. You have to engage with other flora and fauna. So that becomes the energy of engagement. And again, this works closely with regenerate energy. So let's go to regenerate energy. So regenerate energy is a softer energy of reflective participation. Reflective, meaning self-reflection. You regenerate inside you. You regenerate based on the knowledge, based on the beauty, based on balance, love, whatever you have gathered so far. You always gather something towards the end of each day, and then you regenerate it inside you. It's like regurgitation. It's like rumination over your own accumulated experience. It goes from day to day. There is nothing like a future thing. It goes from moment to moment. And towards the end of the day, you collect all of that and you regenerate. It's a reflective participation. You do participate with others. You regenerate understanding with others. You regenerate your love or your feeling of love with others. You regenerate balance. You can regenerate again in all directions, outward and inward. Seeks to rejuvenate the circle of life. See, a rejuvenation of planet, rejuvenation of the earth, rejuvenation of soil, water, air, rejuvenation of all life forms. Related and works closely with the engage energy. When you engage in a proper way aligned with your being, with all the 5 outer circles, that's your being. That's why they are in the outer circle. So these are the actions which can drive in any of these directions. Let's see the next. Finally, we come to the circle of life. So actions in the circle of life. Now, whatever we discussed in the last 4 slides of 4 actions, along with the 6 directions it can go in, your action should support all life on the planet. Your actions must support synthesis. Your actions must support human spirit and being and must engage with other counterparts, that is, earth elementals and other life forms, with all the elementals of the planet in a synthetic way. Your actions must enhance true relationships, humans to humans and humans to earth at the same time. So how this adds some more, a bit of more dimension to how actions, human actions, are intertwined with the human being. They are mixed up. This is not a linear system which works in a linear one-directional way. One relates to the other. It's all a circle. It's all a sphere. And it goes in all directions. And it can enhance your life. It can enhance your sense of being. And it can bring you joy of being alive. Thank you for listening. Okay, so now with chapter 5, we conclude the first of the series of the podcast of redefining the paradigm of the new human being, where they operate from, where they work from, what their being is, definitions of what their being is, definitions of what the human action is, definition of how we need to work and towards what goal. That's the sphere of life and living. So with this last one, we will kind of touch upon and go through all the previous ones where we touched upon many topics, but here we kind of bring it all together because we need to talk about how humanity, how the life forms on earth, how the elementals all tying together, and how our shifting the basic paradigms will redefine and restructure the civilization, starting from the individual human being to the collective, to the entire planet. So let's see how we go about this. We'll recap certain things and we will move forward on certain things. So it'll bring the pieces of knowledge together. This is a bringing together of all that we have done in chapters 1 to 4. So directly jumping to chapter 5 will not make any sense unless you go to chapter 1 and 4. I won't be repeating much of the stuff here, just a recap. So remember the lie that we are told. Money, job, career, relationships, etc., that you have to have all of this on the left side to arrive at this point. So it's a very linear thinking. You start with this or you aim to get this in order to get this. That's not what we are here for at all. And what does this lead to? Let's just see that, because we examined this particular one already in chapter 1. Let's go to the next one. See what this leads to. If you just keep striving for money, job, career, relationship, all of this stuff, you're starting with an underlying paradigm that all of these are needed. All of these are needed to meet a structure that is already built in the civilization. Well, you're not going to create a new one until you first get rid of all these stupid concepts, and which leads to just a confused human being at the end who is living a very unhappy, unfulfilled life. Doesn't matter what goal you achieve, doesn't matter how much money you have in the bank account, or a job, or what people call you. People strive for titles like manager or this one or that one. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any difference to you as a being. You are different. We already saw that. So all of these things, the money, the job, the relationship, the success factor, whatever that thing is, striving for a house, your individual little house, your cute little 5-bedroom apartment or whatever it is, and cars and whatnot, materialistic goals that people set for their limited thinking. And then you worry about health, which gets screwed in the process, by the way, by doing all of this, right? So we saw that, and we see that we've also seen in part one that this is the truth that is real. This is what you actually are. You are compassion, your love, your balance, your knowledge, your understanding, your beauty, and you seek to create this inside yourself and externalize and create it through the world, through human actions. And that would create first a joy of being alive. Nobody talks of this, do they? What the hell is joy of being alive? Well, you get up in the morning looking forward to the day, to creating whatever you want to create what brings you individually joy. Nobody does that, do they? Nobody's happy getting up in the morning. It's unbelievable. It's like an entire human civilization is spending its time getting up. Let it be a kid and going to the school, to a person, to the kid's parent going to work or business, or let it be the mom doing her stuff, whatever it is, work and taking care of kids and everything. Nobody's getting up happy, right? So we have to get to that core first. We have to evolve and get rid of all the structures which are existing and work from a completely new paradigm, that we are this on the left side here, and we are this on the we get all of this on the right side through human actions, yeah, with one another. So you go from, this is not linear, even though it's indicated linearly as compared to the previous one. The reason this is not linear is because all of these on the left side and all of these on the right side are intricately woven through human actions. That means you are this all of the time. You are constantly seeking this all of the time. This is a circle. Joy of being alive leads to engagement, leads to knowledge. Compassion leads to regeneration, leads to service to humanity. These are all linked. Left side and right side points are intricately linked with the human action at different points in one person's life. So it doesn't matter if you say money, success, job, you're still trying to do this in the end. But this has to be taught in this way. This has to be actioned in this way. This has to be educated to the child, to the teenager, to the adult. And they should work from this kind of a paradigm rather than the previous one. And so we saw this. What's the sphere of human being? This is the human being. Not those stick figures that they show as male and female or a child. That's just bodies. Bodies will come and go. Civilizations have come and gone on this planet. We are all here for a certain time. It's no point harping and weaving around that. We need to know and work that the circle in the center is the being. The outer four circles are the actions. And they are all interwoven together. And this is how we work, and this is what we should be doing. Well, if we take this model of the human being, and then we strive to achieve whatever is going on, or how to get to where we want to go as a true civilization, not the barbaric one currently it is and always has been for millenniums, then we must look at how this affects the basic associations. So there we have the basic associations. What are true interactions? The true interactions, I propose, is the beginning point. First, we should start with education and embodiment of the being. We are talking about the being first. We're focusing on educating the masses, and we're focusing on educating our children, our children's friends, our colleagues, everything, that this is what we really are and this is how we interact. All the blue arrows from one to another, if this is a representation of 4 human beings sitting together around a table. There are no stick figures, there are no bodies. We're just talking at a being level of the blue circles in the center and the action levels, what they take. So each one of these 4 is communicating with one another, but at a being level now. It doesn't matter which It doesn't speak of which race, caste, color, creed, country you are from, does it? It doesn't speak of any race, does it? It doesn't speak of even genders, does it? Or age, does it? It just speaks of who you are in essence. And we are learning to re-educate ourselves with who you really are. So first we need to start beginning true interactions. How do we do that? Education and embodiment of being. First you educate yourself and you embody that, as in you work from this level. You work constantly, have this in mind before you interact with another person. Next, interacting from the level of being. So if we educate ourselves and embody that sense of being and then interact with another person, your whole paradigm shift internally and of the other person happens. You don't work as a body, you don't work as agendas for somebody else's salary or what that person is trying to get from me and do this and that. All that is based on survival instincts and a structure that is already implemented. Right? If you get rid of that structure and replace it with this one, you have a different paradigm of a different model of working. That's how deep and profound this is. Next, acknowledging the being in self and the other. Again, this has to be educated. This has to be exposed in a different way. This has to be embodied by each and every person. So we are talking about a basic level of paradigm shift of how human beings see themselves individually, how we educate this, expand on each one of this, and then move forward, like we presented in the previous slides. So what does it lead to? It leads to harmonious interactions. It doesn't lead to discord. And it does, because it crosses all state lines, boundary lines, all race, caste, color, creed, country, race, etc. It crosses all boundary lines. It leads to harmonious interactions among countries. So it is. What else does it lead to? Mutual respect and cooperation, right? And when you see yourself as one of the blue circles with the four outer circles, and you see the other person also as the same, you're essentially the same platform. You're essentially having a shared sense of being. If you have a shared sense of being, you will have a shared sense of purpose. So simple as that. Then it leads to true teamwork and alignment with another, right? You are aligned with one another's goals, your contribution to one another, rather than always having arguments and debates about things, right? You try to understand the other from all the inner circles first. The inner blue circles have to be understood first. It's not about accomplishing something, it's about acknowledgement of the being first. And what it does is enhances one another instead of bringing one another down. It builds a true community sense in achieving a balanced sense in circle of life. Now we come to the circle of life. What do we mean by the circle of life? So here we have come to one of the most fundamental mistruths that we have been working towards, or striving towards, or having goals towards. Yes. Now you got to decide here. You got to choose. It's all about choice. So you got to decide here, which is your home. Is it the one on the top or is it the one on the bottom in this slide? If that's the home you're striving for, you will be succumbing to the structure which is already in place. That is, go through the laws and structures of the institutions and countries and laws and governance, everything that we spoke of. You're succumbing to the existing structure. Well, if the bottom one is your home, the entire planet, then your sense of self has to expand to include everything on the planet, not just your country, not just your little house of 4 bedrooms. So you have to consider all of this before you have to make a choice between the top and the bottom. What we are speaking of and what we propose here is the bottom. This is your true home. That is just a structure imposed upon you that you have to strive towards that. I propose you strive towards the bottom. And then you move forward from there. Because everything you're building is with respect to these two, which is hugely different. One is a very small, confined, narrow sense of self, which only worries about its house and its home and its little place, so to speak. And the other one encompasses the entire planet, which is a huge sense of self. So your self expands to fit. How does it? So choice determines the circle of life. We examined in the first couple of podcasts. Sorry. So, what is it now? What are we talking about? Expansion of your sense of self, like we said, to include the entire earth. Only then you will have a self-sustaining life, because all human beings will act in that particular manner. Expansion of yourself to include entire earth supports synthesis. Expansion of your sense of self to include entire earth engages human spirit and being. See how this comes together? Expansion of yourself to include entire earth enhances two relationships, humans to humans and to earth at the same time. It brings us to another one of the paradigm basic shifts. We have been taught that we are these two stick figures on the left, which basically make you associate who you are with the body that you have or the gender that you are, the male and the female. Well, from this we got to transform it to the one on the right, right? There is no male, female, there is no gender here. Both of them are equal. And there is no race, caste, color, creed, again, anything mentioned here is there on the right. It's just you're bringing the human being to a level playing field. Doesn't matter who or where they are. So we are all built like this. We honor each other like this. And we work and look at each other like this. Then begins the shift. Only then the planet can look like this, right? There are no stick figures. There's no association of you being a male or a female. There's no association of you being from one part of the world or another. If you all say the center, the little pretty blue-green planet is my home, and it's surrounded by all of these humans, which are from every part of the world, there's no mention of any country, there's no mention of any race, there's no mention of any gender. If this is the model that we build, then and only then we can shift entire structures of everything, all the education that we have accumulated, all the work that we have accomplished as humanity so far, all the research, all the development, all the scientific, biological, economical, all the fields of education that we have accomplished so far. We can use it to rebuild and to develop this as a planet and as to one another, to enhance each and every individual's sense of being alive, joy of being alive, do whatever they wish to do, and yet accomplish a greater good. Individual and greater good, both are accomplished only if we start seeing each other like this. With that, I'll leave that to you. Obviously, these are very groundbreaking, path-breaking paradigms. So I'll leave this for you to think of, ponder on. For this first part series, this will be it. We'll talk about other things in the next part series. Thanks for listening.